Hello, third grade writers. Today we're going to continue with Lesson 2 for Unit 1, Module A. The vocabulary word for this lesson is competition. When you are in a competition, you are a contestant competing against other people. For example, if you look at this picture, this girl is in a competition with the other boys and she's racing against them, right? So if you're in a competition, you can be in a contest, and there is usually only one winner. Let's look at our lesson objective for today. I will be able to identify the genres of narrative writing. Genres is just a fancy word for the different types or kinds. So there are different kinds of narrative writing. These different kinds of writing are called genres. Different genres of narrative writing include myths, folktales, fables, poems, plays, fantasies, and realistic fiction. Realistic fiction means that it's a made-up story, but it could still happen in real life. The genre of location is realistic fiction because it tells about events that could happen in real life. The author of location also introduces a realistic character, Evan. So what is one event in location that could happen in real life? Let's take a look. Someone may want to start a lemonade stand, or a brother and sister could compete against each other. Let's look at our next question. How is Evan similar or the same to you or to someone you might know in real life? Let's take a look at a possible answer. Evan fights with his sister, he likes ice cream, and he likes summer. So let's look at some examples that make this story realistic fiction. He stuck his hand in his pocket and felt all the money. Bills and coins ruffled between his fingers. Money was meant to be spent. Why not spend a little? Evan acts and thinks like a kid might act and think in real life. Let's look at our next example. He needed to make $17 on Friday, $17 on Saturday, and $17 on Sunday. And somewhere over the 3 days, he needed to make $2 extra in order to earn $53 by Sunday evening. So needing to raise money is a problem that most people know about. The setting of the story or the time and place could also be found in real life. It was lunchtime and the shaded benches on the town green were filled with people sprawling in the heat. Workers from the nearby stores on their half-hour lunch breaks, moms out with their kids, old people who didn't want to be cooped up in their houses all day. So this setting might remind readers of similar places in their neighborhood or town. Writers think carefully about whether they want their stories to be realistic fiction or not. If a story is realistic fiction, the writer makes sure that everything in the story could exist or happen in real life. Often, writers of realistic fiction draw inspiration from people and places around them. If a story is not realistic fiction, the author may include things in the story that couldn't happen in real life, such as talking animals or giants. So let's look at a list that the class came up with. So we have some realistic fiction. So again, remember, realistic fiction means that it's a made-up story, but it could really happen in real life. So we could have a story about a girl who wants to learn how to surf, a boy who gets bullied, or a girl learning how to read. These are all situations that could happen in real life. Now, let's look at something that's not realistic. So this is true fiction. This is something that we would not find in our ordinary lives. We're not going to find a giant dinosaur that breathes fire out of his mouth, a turtle who learns how to talk, or a lion who drives a car. So let's look at the beginning steps of writing a realistic fiction story. So now that we have a list, let's think about what we'd like to write about. I think I would like to write about a place I know, so I'm going to write about the neighborhood I live in and the people who live there. What familiar place do you want to write about? Who are some characters you might include who are like real people you know? So under lesson 2 in your Google Doc writing journal, you're going to write a paragraph and follow these directions. You have to describe a setting. Look back at the character and problem you wrote about in lesson 1 and decide whether they are realistic or not. Decide on an appropriate setting for your story and write a paragraph describing it. So here's an example. My story is realistic. The setting is at Emma's house, her friend's birthday party, and at the movie theater. The birthday party has cake and balloons. The movie theater has popcorn and is dark. Okay, so now it's your turn. You are going to decide whether or not the story you wrote back in lesson 1 is realistic or not. Describe the setting. Remember, the setting is the time and place, and then describe it. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Maybe what do you see there? Okay, so remember to use your 5 senses. If you have any questions, please leave a comment on Google Classroom, or the next time we have a Google Meet, you may ask me. Thank you.